Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. I am at my local Home Depot, got my coffee, got a story for you. We're gonna talk about home builders. We're gonna talk about Home Depot. We're gonna talk about their earnings, their forecasts, all that kind of stuff. It's very important to watch this. Why? This company, Home Depot, is a great bellwether, a great indicator of what is to come in not only the housing market, but the economy as a whole. Why? Well, the wealth effect in housing, like I've said before, is massive. It is the most influential psychological phenomenon when it comes to wealth creation or wealth building or people acknowledging they have any bit of wealth that there is. It's greater than the stock market wealth effect. Housing wealth effect affects the mass majority of our country, right? It employs so many people. As you see here, there's the parking lot's about a quarter full right now. This is work time, right? What is it time right now? 8:47 in the morning, work day. We're not seeing as much activity these days as we have been recently. Put down below what your local home do it center, whether it be Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Miners, Home Depot, what is it like as far as traffic? Mine has been a little subdued. All right, here we go. A couple things. We're going to start with this story out of Zero Hedge. It's entitled Housing Starts Slump in September, Rental Permits Plunge as Home Builder Confidence Crumbles. Now, I'm getting a lot of comments from students in our course about how to invest in real estate cycles, how to prepare for the next real estate crash. If you want, I'll throw a handful of links down below, 80% off, $199. But what they say that they're getting from this course that's most important is understanding that there is, in fact, very identifiable cycles in real estate, how real estate ramps up and how real estate comes crashing down. And right now we've just crested the top and we're about to start heading down. And it's very easy to identify these. Not even, I get people that are real estate brokers, real estate agents, people that have just owned homes, or people that are in the rental market. They buy and sell rentals, they flip properties, things like that. And they never understood this macro look and when to get into real estate and when to get out. It's very important. And this, what we're talking about right here, is very important to understand, okay? This is a great indicator. All right, so again, housing starts slumping in September. If yesterday's plunge in the NAHB settlement survey is anything to go by, this morning's starts and permits data should be I'll be nice, crap show. Expectations were extremely mixed, with starts expecting to jump 7.8% month over month after plunging last month, and permits expected to plunge 5.7% after soaring last month. So big reversals. If yesterday's plunge in the NAHB sentiment survey is anything to go by, this morning's starts and permits data should be a crap show. Okay. Permits beat expectations, but they tumbled 4.4% month over month. They expected a negative 5.7% month over month. Okay, it's a big difference, okay? So permits beat expectations, but they still tumbled. Now remember, when things start going bad, expectations, they start setting the bar super low, knowing that if next month, hopefully, they either meet their expectations or low expectations, or they beat them a little bit above, then that's a win, okay? That's when good or bad news is good news in the market. You probably hear that a lot. It says here, housing starts missed expectations, rising only 7% month over month, which there was a 7.8% expected, worsened still by downward revisions for August from it was a negative 11.3% to a negative 12.5%. Says under the hood, multifamily rental permits plunged by the most since November of 2022, while single family permits rose for the 9th straight month. Multifamily unit starts rose by the most since August of 2022. For context, September multifamily permits, commercial real estate, 2 units to 1,000 units. These were down 14%. This was the lowest since October of 2020, but single family permits rose 1.8%. So you've got a massive mix. Another thing I want to explain to you real quick is that when construction is starting to collapse, and I know there's some really interesting indicators, I've told you before, and if you're new to the channel, let me know, but I made a lot of money between 2008 and 2013 selling heavy equipment. I would buy tractors. You probably can't see them here at Home Depot selling them or renting them. Skid steers and farm tractors and excavators, trailers, dump trailers. I made a lot of money buying equipment from contractors that didn't see this cycle coming, didn't see this real estate cycle heading downward, and they were just flying in, just kept buying and putting things on credit, right? Overextending themselves, only to find themselves needing to sell that equipment. And I made a lot of money, and people don't understand that this is very possible. During a recession, for every one person that doesn't have any more money, access to credit, and everything's imploding, there's somebody that was smart and waited and has money. So I simply bought equipment from construction companies. I was going to auctions, I was going to deal with contractors in person, and I was buying their heavy equipment and I was selling it to people that were patient and had money. And I just had a better way of moving it, right? A better way of advertising it. Now, we are seeing on Facebook Marketplace a massive pickup, because I watch it all the time, even though I don't flip tractors anymore. I mean, actually, I just recently did, because why not? I made like an extra $5,000 in a month just flipping one tractor. But my point being is that there is a massive pickup in equipment right now. And a lot of that equipment, and this is what's really important, is new or newer. The reason why that's important is because a lot of contractors in the last couple of years have went out and got cheap loans. I mean, there are some companies giving 0%. I want to say Kubota was giving 0% for a while, and contractors were picking up stuff, and now they're finding themselves needing to sell equipment. So that's another indicator here. It says here, rental starts bounced from 3-year lows, but you have to understand there are 3-year lows, so they're just ticking up a little bit. That's not enough to say that the real estate market's rising, we're not crashing. Will the Fed be pleased to see permits go down? Their hawkishness in driving home builders to produce less inventory, that will not help prices and affordability. See, the fact is, the way the market is set up is the Federal Reserve wants to create higher unemployment. And the sad thing is that most people do not understand that could be you, or that could be me that gets laid off, right? There's so many different dynamics. And as a rental and real estate market starts to collapse and that cycle starts to turn downwards, right? And again, the sun's gonna come out tomorrow and it's gonna swing up. It's a multi-year, almost decades-long cycle. And if you don't understand it, you need to learn about it, because you can make or you could save a ton of money and heartache once you realize this. But as it's coming down, remember these numbers that come up. Oh, look, housing starts, jumped in September, or they're down in October. Remember, you have to look at the long-term trend, and that right now is heading downwards. And as it gets down even more, the fear and panic is going to set in, because what's going to happen is home builder data, housing start data, data coming out of Home Depot. You've already seen that their last quarter, actually check this out. This is an old story. It's about 4 weeks old. This is out of CNBC. It's entitled Home Depot Beats Earning Estimates, but sales slide as consumers pull back on big ticket items. Remember that even before this announcement came out from Home Depot, they said 2 quarters ago that they had revised their earnings per share lower, their sales lower. Okay, that's the game when it comes to publicly traded companies. They want bad news to turn into good news. They're wordsmiths. It says here, Home Depot beat quarterly earnings and revenue estimates. Well, that sounds great, right? But it says, yet the company reiterated its full year guidance after it lowered the outlook the previous quarter. Okay, and I was covering that on this channel, and it's very important to see that. So what happens is you start like, oh, these little pop-ups, and it keeps the stock going, but then it goes down even more, and then up, and then down even more. And what happens is, before you realize it, and they have enough data like, 4-6 quarters of bad, abysmal data out of Home Depot Lowe's, right? 4 or 6 quarters of horrible home builders or housing starts information. What happens is, then that information hits CNBC, and they go, okay, so it's pretty bad. It looks like everything's turning down. And they start saying this out loud. The only question is, how low can it go? And that is exactly what we saw in 2007 and 2008, that kind of rhetoric. But you look at this, CNN is running their headline, not mine, right? They're saying, home building bounced back in September. Boo! They're the cheerleaders. They're the mainstream. They're not telling you the bigger picture, the macro picture. That's why you have to go and check out these cycles. You need to learn how to invest in real estate cycles. It will save you or make you a lot of money. And then right here, it says here, US, this is out of Barron's, US home builder confidence falls for third straight month amid high mortgage rates. So you have such a varying degree of information coming out right now in the mainstream about the strength of the home builder or the strength of companies like Home Depot. Facts are facts. We are in a downward trend and you need to learn that. If you want to learn the real estate cycles, I'm going to put a handful of 80% off links, which are $199. You can start learning about how to prepare for this real estate crash and how to identify where we are in this cycle. I guarantee you, no one's teaching this. With that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.